All right, guys, with that out of the way, it's time to jump in and take some movie news.
What?
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 All right, you guys, let's jump right in. And with both feet, we're jumping in. It's no big mystery. It's no big wonder to say that, so many movies have been delayed and pushed back, and alternate means of distribution have been talked about. Obviously, we just talked about Wonder Woman yesterday and how huge of a thing that was. There's a lot of speculation still to come out about what's going to happen with Black Widow. But for now, it would appear that Disney is testing the waters. They have 3 pretty high-profile projects in down the pipeline. One of which is, the photo is featured here, Cruella. It is 101 Dalmatians as told from the perspective of Cruella DeVille, played by Emma Stone. Wow, perfect casting, I think. And then we have the Robert Zemeckis Pinocchio film, the live-action Pinocchio, starring Tom Hanks. I'm a little dubious of that, but, okay, whatever. And then we also have Peter Pan and Wendy, a live-action Peter Pan and Wendy film coming down the pipeline. Well, just today, rather last night. I say today because the show is today, so naturally I think everything happens today, right? Disney has just announced that Cruella, Pinocchio, and Peter Pan and Wendy, all 3 of those live-action adaptations, are going to be released on Disney+. Now, they were slated for a theatrical release, but they are essentially going to be testing the waters and putting them out on Disney+. Here's my 2 cents, for what it's worth. I feel like with the release of Wonder Woman on HBO Max, also being shared with a live theatrical experience, I don't think that it's crazy. It's not crazy to think that Disney is considering putting Black Widow out on Disney+. Maybe 6 months ago, that was an absolutely insane thought. Like, nobody would have ever thought that Disney was going to release Black Widow on Disney+. But we don't live in that world anymore. The world has changed. COVID has changed the world. We all know this. We all recognize this. I think we all understand this. And I think there's still a lot of people that are pushing against it, and in some ways myself included. What was crazy, what was impossible 6 months ago, I mean, even just yesterday, because things change day by day. What was crazy and insane yesterday is now a possibility today. And what is crazy and insane today might actually become a possibility tomorrow. So it's not crazy to think that Disney is seriously considering putting Black Widow out on Disney+. Now, I mean, are they going to follow a very similar model, a very similar method as what they've done with, Warner Brothers is doing with Wonder Woman 1984? Maybe. They might. Who knows? Maybe. What I mean by that is releasing the film both in theaters and on Disney+. Now, what is interesting to say about Wonder Woman, do you remember how I started the show and I said we're not going to talk about Wonder Woman? Now here we are. I think what's interesting about Wonder Woman is that it's only being released on on HBO Max for 30 days. It has the 30-day window that you can watch it. If you have an HBO subscription, you can go ahead and watch Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas Day for the next 30 days if you like. You can watch it every day for 30 days. You can watch it 30 times if you want. That would be an interesting experiment, I'll be honest. Where was I going with this? So it's possible that when Disney gets around to releasing Black Widow, that they are going to put it in theaters and try to get some kind of box office. But we already know that Disney has been very forthright in saying, you know what, we're putting Disney Plus at the forefront of all of our plans. Disney Plus takes precedent. This is our first priority. There's the other day I mentioned, maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember. There's a really great video by a YouTuber that I watch almost religiously. His name is John Campia. It's just John Campia on YouTube. Just go check it out. I think he posted the video 2 days ago or 3 days ago. It's Black Widow. You'll see it, whatever. It's like an hour-long video, something like that, where he only talks about the whole Black Widow situation for about 30 minutes. And it's an investment. It's an investment, but I highly recommend you going over to John Campia's YouTube channel and checking out that video, because he breaks down all the numbers to explain why it's likely that Disney is going to release Black Widow on Disney Plus. So why am I talking about Black Widow and Wonder Woman with this article looming? Well, this is my theory. I have a feeling that by releasing Pinocchio, Peter Pan, and Cruella onto Disney Plus when they were originally slated for theatrical releases, that this is Disney's way of kind of testing the waters. How well are these properties going to do? Now, granted, these aren't the high-profile properties that that Black Widow is going to be, that Avengers is, all that. This is not going to be like a Star Wars type, like blockbuster. So the models will be a little bit different, but I do think, especially that there's three of them, they're not going to do the same. They're not going to go down the same rabbit hole of what they did with Mulan. They really screwed up with Mulan. Having that $30 premium charge. If you want to watch Mulan for 3 months, go ahead and pay us $30 and you can watch it as much as you want. That did not go over very well with a lot of people. But yeah, it's my personal opinion. I don't have a lot of fact to base this on. It's just, when you look at all the dominoes in place, and when we can see the dominoes start to fall, you can somewhat predict what those dominoes are going to do. And I feel that these three films being released on Disney Plus is going to be Disney testing the waters to see how well do they actually do? How many subscribers are we actually getting? Because here's another thing about Disney Plus. They have a massive library, and a great library at that. They have so much on there. And we know from Netflix models, 80% of all the content that's watched on Netflix is library material. It's not original content. Only 20% of the content viewed on Netflix is original. 80% is library, And when you break that down, when you think about that, with Disney Plus owning all of their own library content, they own it all. They don't have to pay any licensing fees. Netflix pays get this. Buckle in. This is a big number. $14 billion a year. $14 billion a year in licensing fees is what Netflix pays just to have their library available to streamers, or available to people who have purchased a Netflix account. That is an insane amount of money. That's just in licensing fees. That's not taking in consideration their day-to-day operations and however much it costs to pay all the people to, keep all the systems in place and general business, blah, 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 all that stuff. That's just licensing fees. Disney doesn't have to pay that because they own all of their content. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I said, go over to John Campia's YouTube channel. Check out that video. It's something about Black Widow likely coming to Disney Plus, something like that. It was posted a few days ago. He explains that much better than I ever could, and in much greater detail too. So yeah, that's just kind of where I think that's kind of where I sit. I think Pinocchio, Peter Pan, and Cruella are all films that Disney is going to be testing the waters out. Big question for you guys is, what do you think Disney is going to be doing with Pinocchio, Cruella, And Peter Pan, are these properties that are going to be paving the way, maybe, so Disney can test the waters? Are you looking forward to these films coming to Disney Plus? I kind of am. I mean, the world that we live in now, I love the theatrical experience. So anytime that I'm robbed of that experience, I feel like my heart is sad, my heart is heavy. But yeah, I mean, the world is changing. COVID has inevitably changed everything for everyone. So, I mean, this is no exception. I personally am looking forward to see these films. Robert Zemeckis has been losing me over the past few years with his use of CG. I don't like the way that he does it. But hey, I mean, who knows? Maybe Pinocchio will be awesome. What do you guys think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Batman from the animated series would want you to do. His name is Batman.